and welcome to Inner Calling New Zealand. This is our first episode of the podcast and we are having our very first guest here. But before introducing the first guest, let me tell you about this podcast. So this is a sacred, conscious conversations with spiritual leaders, coach, teachers, maybe meditation teachers, yoga teachers and many more. So stay tuned with us. And if you are looking for peace, if you are searching for purpose of life, if you are stuck somewhere with your spiritual path, if you need a little push and guidance, then this is for you. If you are here as an audience, this podcast reaches to you and you are listening to it, then I am very grateful. You are very blessed today and maybe your life get changed up. I am Khushali Jani, your host. I am from Guru Tattva Himalayan Meditation. I am doing this meditation, following this meditation path since childhood and it completely changed my life. So I thought, why not? We should search other coach, other teachers, other people who can guide, who are still seeking it, who are still searching for it, maybe lost somewhere, maybe need a little light and guidance. Let me introduce our first guest. I want to thank Sofia da Silva and let me give you a glimpse of her work a little bit. So she is medical intuitive, she is spiritual coach, and she is more into woman divine healing. So currently she is in Auckland, New Zealand, but working worldwide online with all the women, giving them guidance who are literally stuck with their emotions, blocked with the emotions, maybe hormonal changes, maybe they are suffering with infertility or other any kind of issues, but she is healing them. But how she is healing, we'll get to know more from her only. But this is her background and she is from Portuguese basically, so we can say it's in her blood because in Portuguese it is land of spiritual rich personalities and rich spiritual history. So welcome Sophia to our podcast and thank you so much for being our first guest. Thank you for saying yes. It's such a blessing to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be your first guest. And you know, actually a funny story that I haven't told you. The day you contacted me, I was actually saying to a friend of mine, I want to do more podcasts, but I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for them to come to me. I need to proactively go out and approach people. So it was actually perfect, divine timing.
Perfect timing. So let's start, Sophia. Could you please tell us about yourself and how you start this journey? How about your path and how you thought about this work?
Okay, so I was born in Portugal and I came to New Zealand when I was 5. So my dad's Portuguese, my mum's from New Zealand. So when I'm in New Zealand, I feel like Portuguese, and when I'm in Portugal, I feel like a New Zealander. So I have always kind of had an interest in spirituality. This is my third career. I'm not one to stick to one. I like to try lots of different things. Before I was doing this work, I was actually doing graphic design for 20 years, but I always knew it was for that time in my life, and I always knew I wanted to get into health and wellness, but I had no idea how that looked. And so when I actually started exploring, I always said to my husband, I don't want to be I said to him, you don't see old lady graphic designers, but that's just because I didn't want to be an old lady graphic designer. But it was perfect. I've got 2 children, so it was perfect. I've always worked from home. When they were growing up, I could be around for them. Yeah. But I always knew one day that I'd do work into health and wellness. It was actually the thought of it never seems like the right time, right? And I think, okay, I've got to, spend money on studying and, probably stop working so much. So I was kind of it was always later down the track. But then COVID happened. And quite fortunately, I lost my job.
Oh, no.
I was doing part-time graphic designer for a client. Wasn't related to COVID, just happened to be at the same time. So I was really lucky to receive the wage subsidy. And in the beginning, I remember thinking, oh my goodness, the first lockdown was 4 weeks. Oh my goodness, I've got 4 weeks to decide what I'm going to do with my life. And then probably a weekend, I'm like, don't be so silly. I don't need to decide in 4 weeks. So it was actually quite a journey trying to figure out, I knew it was health and wellness, quite a journey trying to figure out what it was. And I did the same when I decided to study graphic design. It's actually quite a process to figure it out. But up until that point, I'd listened to lots of experts in the field, I'd gone to workshops, and I wasn't going there to fix myself. I was going there to see if I wanted to do what they did. But in the process, so I was doing this for years before, I listened to podcasts. In the process, I actually gathered a lot of information that now helps me support my clients and my work. So initially I narrowed it down to, I want to help women who are struggling with fertility, because I'd had my own fertility issues with our second child. And I narrowed it down to naturopathy or kinesiology. Kinesiology is probably a little bit more spiritual and holistic, but I would never have gone straight into this work because I just would have thought it's one step too far. Even though I'd always gone to see spiritual healers for my own healing from really young age, and I traveled a lot when I was young, and wherever I went, I'd find my little spiritual healer. So it was always a big interest of mine, but I just thought I could never do that work. I didn't grow up seeing dead people, and that was my belief. I can't do this work because I didn't grow up seeing dead people. Anyway, naturopathy didn't work out, so I went down the kinesiology field because I had it done in Australia and it was life-changing. It was amazing. And I studied that for a year. I worked really hard. I really enjoyed it, didn't love it. For me, it was a bit too complicated, but it was really interesting because I always felt like the universe was just pushing me through, and I just had I worked really hard. I kind of thought, okay, I'm going. I felt like I was pushing. And then the great thing about that course is we were encouraged to set up our own healing practice within that year. So I set up my little space. Luckily, I've got this amazing space at home.
Yeah.
And I started working with friends. And first it was free, then I'd start charging. So that was the great thing. I was building up a practice. And at the end of that year, I was planning to do the diploma, but then I thought, no, I'm not sure this is for me. I found it quite hard. There were a lot of steps involved. And at the end of that course, one of the students in my class told us about this online energy healing summit, which I listened to a few speakers. And I always find with those things, even if you only listen to one or two speakers, often you can get a lot of insights or amazing information. Anyway, I saw my medical intuition teacher, Tina Zion. Loved her, just really resonated with her. Loved how she just made the sound so simple. Signed up to her emails, and then she was doing a course, a live online course. So I did her course. I was hooked, loved it, and did a few more courses. And at the beginning, I was combining kinesiology and medical intuition together. And a lot of healers will combine different things. I was getting a little bit confused at my offering, doing the two. And then when I did her advanced course, she's like, right, while we do this course, just focus on medical intuition. And once I did my first session solely with medical intuition, I loved it so much. I was hooked, and I never did kinesiology again. So I've definitely found my happy place. I love how she takes a lot of the fear out of it. And also when I first started doing a course and I realized, oh my goodness, I'm actually doing this. I can actually do this, even though I didn't grow up seeing dead people. So it just feels, I've been called to do it, and I just love it so much. So I've done private mentoring with her and group mentoring, and it's my happy place. Absolutely love this healing modality. It's definitely my thing, and I actually don't feel I need any other healing modalities. For me, it's really simple, whereas kinesiology is poke here, rub here. It works, but it's just so complicated, and I felt like I was taking away from my clients, whereas this is so simple and so easy, and I'm all about simple.
Nice. Interesting story. But could you also get more into detail, like what's the difference, like just insight or overview of all the techniques you learn and how you find this one is for you?
Okay. So medical intuition kind of covers its mind, body, and spirit healing. I know lots of other natural modalities are as well. And we work with high beings and spirit guides. And I've actually been working with my own spirit guides for 30 years.
Nice.
That is
really?
that is quite natural to me. And this is how I started doing it. So I know we all have a team of guides, and they're around us to support us. They can't interfere. So we really need to put them to work. We really need to ask them for help and support and give them jobs, because that's what they're there for. And we can never ask too much, because they are also evolving by supporting us. And when I was young, I was really interested in spiritual books. When I was a teenager, my dad had quite a few spiritual books. He's a Portuguese one in the family. So there's always a really big interest. And then I remember reading, it was like in a Cosmo magazine or one of those magazines, and this journalist was interviewing a lady who works with spirit guides, and she was asking her how to communicate with them. And she said to her, ask them for signs to prove that they're there. So I would have been in my early 20s, and I remember asking for signs, and I got the signs. They were crisp and clear. So ever since then, I have communicated with my guides. So this is very natural to me. And then working in medical intuition, we've been taught on how to bring new guides and specialists in for different things. So I don't know, a lot of modalities probably don't work with spirit guides. I know a lot of Indigenous and Native cultures, it's part of their healing, like the Māoris and the Aboriginals and
True.
Native Americans. It's quite a normal part of their healing, and they believe in the spirits of all, the animals, the nature, the land. And by tuning into those guides, we can actually elevate the healing beyond more than anything I could do myself. And also, I'm not the healer, I'm facilitating the healer. And then I also love to teach my clients how to tune into their team.
Also, you are teaching your clients as well who are really, really interested.
Yes.
So how to talk with their spirit guides.
Yes, so initially I was kind of playing down the spiritual side, like there's a bit of a fear of, what people are going to think. Even though people close to me have always known I'm very spiritual, but coming out in the open public, having a website, that was a little bit scary, and it took me a little while to, as I say, fully come out of the spiritual closet. But since I've done that, I'm actually attracting the people who are open to spirituality, and they're the people I want to help. It's not for everyone, and I don't want to convince anyone who's not into it. But working with people who believe in it and they want to learn more, that's just, where the magic happens. Yeah, and I love to share tools. Like, I'm always sharing tools with my clients because they are their own healer. So the more in control, the more tools they have, they can do this incredible work themselves.
So is it like not magic or superpower, but anyone can do with practice?
Well, it's funny that you call it superpower because I actually do feel it's a superpower, but we all have it. So absolutely. So it's definitely like intuition is, we're all born intuitive. We're all wired to be intuitive. It is not a rare and mystical gift that's only for a few people. All children are intuitive, but then as life goes on and they go to school and their parents, we kind of, the logic comes in stronger and they kind of lose that kind of intuition a little bit.
True.
But it's in there, and it's a skill, it's a muscle that we can all strengthen, and with practice, we can all use it. So yes, it is a superpower, but we all have it. I feel like it's a superpower that we're not, most people aren't putting to good use.
This is so magical. I thought, if it's in me, and maybe it's hidden with layers of other things right now, because it's been ages. I don't know how it feels like, but if I start learning it, maybe I can feel something or sense something. So how was your first experience? When do you think that this is it like lowest period of your life when you seek this healing process? Is it like you personally want to heal, or you just want to learn and heal other people? How you started with it, and how was your first experience?
So I think becoming two boys, they're now teenagers, becoming a mum, and you a new mum, so maybe you can resonate with this. You feel like you want to help people, and here you are helping people with this podcast. You have this deep sense of wanting to help people. So I think that it's always been in me, but I think it got bigger when once I became a mum. And also I got tired of helping the people that didn't want help. Giving advice to friends, family, they don't really want your advice. I'm like, okay, I want to help the people who want to come to me for help. But you saying, I wonder how this skill develops. The thing that I was amazed with the most when I first started doing the course is intuition is actually talking to us all the time. It's not even like turning it up. It's actually turning everything else down. And when you are quiet, I realized, oh my goodness, I'm getting intuitive information all the time. And that's what intuition is. It's simply information. And we're getting intuitive information all the time. And it's just noticing, like, you get your little aha moments or little, little intuitive hits. Like, we're getting it all day, all the time, but we're so busy thinking about what we have to do, what's for dinner.
So for that, you just need to sit in quiet place, in calmer place, not in chaos or everywhere. It's not possible. But yeah, you need that environment to talk with the spirit guides.
Yes. So do you know the perfect time to communicate with your team and connecting with your intuition is when you are doing a really boring, mundane job. So I get a lot of intuitive hits in the shower, but then also when I'm in the kitchen, just cleaning up, doing the dishes, because your brain is not really, you don't need to think about what you're doing. And there's kind of quiet. I don't like to have noise music on. So it's just quiet and I kind of get little pops of information, or even when I'm walking the dog. So it's all about being present and being present and calm and noticing. So in being in meditation is a perfect example of when you receive intuitive
when
information.
we get within, yeah.
And the more you notice your intuitive information, because it will come to everyone differently. So there's the 5 senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting. I always thought I get my intuitive information from like my mind's eye, from visions. But lately I've realized I actually get it from sounds, words. Words come to me. So it's kind of noticing how it comes to you, and the more you notice how it comes to you, you'll be more aware of it. It's as simple as you're in the supermarket and you remember that, oh, I forgot to put lemons on my shopping list. That is intuitive information coming to you.
You mentioned in shower, right? In meditation, sometimes I realize so many things which I forgot to do. Something like, oh, I can do this. Oh, really? I forgot this. I need to do this. Or something which I'm stuck with, let's say in my work or somewhere. And I feel like I got the solution somehow, but in that quiet time.
Yes.
So that is you call intuition.
You'll be getting the information in also the loud time, but you don't hear it.
True.
There's too much going on. So when you're quiet, that's when you notice it. And yeah, it's information, and it comes to us in so many ways. It could be 2 friends recommending the same book to you over a couple of days. It could be a song you hear on the radio. A lot of people who have lost a loved one, maybe a song comes on the radio that reminds them of that person. It could be a song in your head, and you kind of have notice the words that you're listening to. You know how you hear people, oh, I was walking along and a book fell off the bookshelf, put me in the head. I'm waiting for that to happen, but it might be a book that actually comes to you. Maybe it's in one of the libraries at in the park, or someone lends you a book. But being guided, it can be like animals. Maybe if you see an animal, often an unusual animal that's in an unusual place. There's lots of different ways intuitive information.
Yeah, because I'm about to ask, is it like a spirit guide is something outside, like you can see them and you can feel them, and it's like same person, or maybe like this, you can see them, or it's same for one person but not for other person, it's just for you, personal. And maybe the same way something else for that person, but that's just personal. Is it like personal thing?
Yes. You kind of see them in your imagination, because it always feels like your imagination, because that's how you communicate with this realm. It's like through imagination. So I teach people as well how to call in new spirit guides. Like if you're going through a certain situation in your life, new mum, you can call in the spirit guide who specializes in that area. And to me, when they come in, I personally will give them, I see a human figure kind of image around them. Some people might see a globe of light, an orb. Some people might just get a feeling, a sensation. So they kind of come, like I think they're all energy, but it's really how we kind of perceive them and how we portray them. So personally, I do see them as a human image, but some people might just feel like a ball of energy or emotion or different ways.
So is it not like a real spirit who just die sometimes back and just helping others? Is it like energy?
So this is actually a really good question, because when you call in, so we all have ancestors.
Yes.
Who we have close relations to, or ancestors even from before we were born, but also ancestors maybe we lost grandparents, great grandparents. So they're around us to support us. And also when we call in a spirit guide, we actually always want to ask that for a sacred and divine specialist. If you don't, you could get any old dead person floating by.
Yeah. Anyone.
So you always want to ask for a sacred and divine specialist in whatever you're needing at the time, and then you're going straight to the top. You're getting like the best of the best. And I know, even though this feels like it's our imagination, when we communicate with them, we can ask for signs. And this is a really fun game. And this is how I first started communicating with guides. I was getting these signs. I'm like, wow, this is actually true. And I almost felt like when I started doing this work, I felt like my guides were saying to me, how many signs, how much proof do you need? Because a big part of it as well is trust. You want to trust that, the information you're getting, but ask for signs. It's a really fun game. And you can be really specific and ask for, I want to see a blue dog.
What was your initial sign?
So my initial sign, okay, interesting. So this is when I was in my 20s and I'd read the magazine article And I closed my eyes and I actually saw the word in my mind's eye, and it was helicopter crash.
Oh.
And I remember thinking, that's not very nice. And I crossed out crash. Like in my mind's eye, I crossed out crash and go, okay, just helicopter. And I was working in Whakapapa Ski Field at the time. And my boss walks in. He said, do you want to come and fly over the mountain? And I'm like, are you going in a helicopter? He goes, no. And I'm like, I'm not coming. And I'd flown with them before. And anyway, the next day on the news, there was a helicopter crash around the other side of the mountain. There was an army base. I think everyone was fine. So that was my first sign. Another sign was I saw the word orange. And then I started seeing a guy at the time, and we met at a festival. And when I met up with him, he was wearing like a bright orange t-shirt.
Wow.
So I always remember those two signs. I often ask for signs and I forget I've asked for signs. Those are my probably first two signs.
A very strong one that you can remember for lifetime, you know.
It's just like, okay, this stuff is real. And ever since then, I just had a communication with my guides, and they're funny. So you can have a laugh with them. And I remember traveling around the world in my 20s, spent most of my 20s traveling. Just remember thinking, you guys have the best life being my guide, because like my life's really fun. But yeah, more recently, I read amazing book called Signs, Laura Lynn Jackson. A really interesting book. So she teaches people how to communicate with loved ones who they've lost. Anyway, I'd forgotten I'd asked for the sign, because in the book she tells you to ask for the sign. And I was walking in our local park, and this heron flew into the middle of the park. And I'd never seen a heron there before. They tend to be more like a few kilometres away by the ocean. And I remember thinking, oh, what does that mean? And kind of not really understanding, kind of forgot about it. Oh, that's cool. And then later in that day, I saw two tuis, kind of, we get lots of tuis around here. They were mating, so not as unusual because we see tuis all the time. And then that afternoon, I was watching my younger son play sport, and there were 3 rosellas, which are like the little red parrot. You don't see them very often here.
Yeah.
And I actually remember thinking, oh, that's weird seeing 3, because often they're in 2s. And then about an hour later, I'm like, oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3. Like I just had this beautiful show.
Yeah. And you always mention they. So it's like multiple person or guides, not just single guide.
I strongly believe we have a team.
Oh.
Some people believe we have the same guides throughout lives or within this life. I feel since I've started doing this work, I have a different team. But you can bring in as many as you need. So you don't feel like you're being greedy and there aren't enough to go around. You can bring in, as many as you need, and they'll be always around there, around for you once you connect them.
So how's the medical intuition is different from the other healing path?
Okay, so medical intuition, as I just mentioned, we're looking at healing the mind, body, and the spirit. Because in our Western culture and kind of like modern times, we really focus on healing the physical body. We do a little bit on the mind, but I even feel with the mind, it's not enough. We're kind of working with the mind once it's broken or there's something wrong. Meditation is wonderful. And also now meditation and yoga are actually becoming quite mainstream. So there's definitely a change, and people are spending a bit more effort on looking after the mind. Because I feel it's just like we go to the gym and exercise and eat well for our bodies. We
that's for physical body.
Yes, we also need tools like meditation, yoga, to support our mental health. And then the spirit body is what's been missing from Western culture, but it's such a big part of us. And, you know, even our physical body is more energy than matter. And we know we don't end here, but, you know, we have this big energy body around us. And often, people have a lot of conditions or issues happening, just healing the physical isn't enough. And often just healing the physical, we're just trying to shut down the symptoms. But often it can be like emotional pain when it's not expressed or dealt with, it turns into physical pain. So you can take as many medications as you like, but it's just not going to completely
heal or properly, maybe a lifetime thing. But it can heal if you focus on the mind, body and spirit.
So I feel doing this work, you're actually opening up the healing pathways. So my teacher says healing is the release of a burden. So when you're not healing, there's like an energy block or unresolved trauma. It can even be issues that are passed down from your ancestors. You know how they say illness and disease is passed down? Well, emotional issues and trauma also get passed down. So that often comes
really?
up, yes, so that often comes up in our healings as well. So by doing this work, and it's not instead of Western medicine or instead of anything else you're doing, it actually works beautifully with other modalities because you're actually opening up the healing pathways, and it allows the other healing modalities to actually work better. It elevates the healing. And I've even had clients who I'll be working with them. The next week, they find an acupuncturist and their knee is healed. So it really opens up. Because you know how sometimes you might have a health issue and you try a few different people. Eventually, you find someone who can actually help you. So it's kind of like, opening up the healing pathways.
Oh, yeah.
Support your healing.
No. So generally, people just focus on if something happened to the body, focus on first go to physical doctor, GP, and someone take the medicine, work on physical body. If that doesn't help, maybe they thought something with the mental issues as well, like they do the meditation, they even seek with the counseling helps and all. That is one part. But beyond that, there is healing, which also look into your outer space, which we can't see. But yeah, the spirit one.
Yeah, so true healing isn't just fixing one thing. We actually need to fix
all three,
all these parts of us.
So while they are taking healing, let's say some customers are taking this healing from you, they can also continue with the other like medicines. They can also continue with the other stuff what they are doing, but just along with that, they can add healing.
Look, everyone's totally different. But yes, I've got clients going through cancer treatment. So of course they still continue with their medical treatment. But this supports them. This supports healing their soul, their spirit, kind of going back to the root cause of why they ended up in that situation. So it's like, it works really well with other modalities. It depends what's wrong with people. Sometimes, it's not a big enough issue that you need to go to a doctor, or people don't necessarily want to go to a doctor straight away. They want to try a more natural healing approach. This really, and it also puts them in control of their healing. Like a lot of people have just given up control because they don't really know, they don't have the tools, they don't know what to do. And also a really big part of it, as I teach my clients, is that symptoms are actually the way your body communicates with you. So you're not broken, your body's actually letting you know what's going on. And often symptoms can be a better indicator than a blood test of what's going on for your body. So I support people, and naturally we just want to turn our symptoms off. But fair enough, we don't want to be in pain, but in that way you're kind of just shutting your body up. It's like, okay, enough. Whereas we really need to tune in and go, okay, my job is causing me stress that is not good for my health, or I'm not eating the right foods, or I'm in the wrong relationship. Like, this is all information. And I support clients to kind of explore what's going on and help them interpret what their symptoms are actually trying to tell them, because they're not broken. It's their body communicating with them, and letting them know not in balance.
Good to know. What was your turning point or miracle moment? Then you can say, okay, this is my calling.
So I didn't have an awakening. A lot of people now talk about awakenings. That's foreign to me. I don't really understand it because it's not my experience. I feel it's being in my blood, like being Portuguese, it's in there already. So I feel like it's just been like a natural progression. Being really interested in those kind of spiritual books when I was young. And then throughout my life, I've kind of gone in and out of it a little bit, which I think is quite natural. A lot of people kind of find that, kind of just go into it, and then it's like, oh no, I've had enough, I need a little break, and then go back into it. So I feel like it's always been there. And I guess also when you're younger, you want to be normal. So you want to fit in. But at the same time, because I went traveling for most of my 20s, you meet a lot of spiritual people on their journey. And it's kind of cool to be spiritual when you're traveling. So I guess I was open to a lot of it then. And as I said, I've always gone to my own spiritual healers for my own healing, because it just resonated for me. Like, unless I was falling apart, I would go to the doctor. Whereas the doctor, I know how we end up having arguments. It just didn't resonate for me most of the time. Whereas going to a spiritual healer, I just felt it just got straight to the issue. There's no fluffing around. We just got in there and it just worked really quickly. And so for me, it just made complete sense. I'm more holistic, so deeply believe in, have always believed in, spirit, something bigger than us. And so it's just been a really natural progression. I just feel like, it's been my inner calling that I've followed.
Nice. So, in your life, you may feel up downs, like we are
Yeah.
human beings. So, how you heal? Is it like your spirit guides are guiding you and healing you, without taking any outer help? You just heal yourself, right?
So I definitely see, I still see healers for my own healing because I think it's really important.
Mm.
Sometimes, most of the time, we can heal ourselves, but sometimes you need outside support. So I
Yeah.
definitely go and see other healers, but
Mhm.
kind of doing similar work when I need my own healing. But for small things,
Mm.
I definitely get my guides involved.
Mm.
Like if I'm feeling a big emotion or a problem, I just hand it over.
Mm.
I go, can you deal with this? I've done that for years. I remember hearing about it, reading about it. So I'm like, can you just deal with this?
Mm.
And it's just gone. And there's just a lightness about it. And then also when I go to sleep or if I wake up in the night,
Mm.
I will ask my healers to do a healing similar to what I do with my clients. And maybe I ask them for something specific, or maybe I just go, can you heal my body? And if I ever wake in the night and do that, I go back to sleep and have the biggest, deepest sleep ever. But yeah, I'm also on my little soul's journey with little lessons to learn as well. But I think it's important as a healer to also have, go and see healers to, work on your own stuff. I think like therapists are meant to have therapy. Yeah.
Nice.
So I think it's actually important.
And overnight, you can feel there's a change, or maybe some things take times also.
It totally depends what it is. You hit the nail on the head. Some things take time. Some things take time and then all of a sudden it's gone. Some things, kind of come and go. But generally, like I'm really healthy. So I do take good care of myself. And I actually have an amazing exercise that I tell people, that I teach people about that I learnt. And it's how to release emotions, because as human beings, we're really bad at expressing and releasing emotions because we don't want to upset someone, or we're scared of how they'll react, or we just don't know how to express it. So we often shove them down because that's easy. And so this is really common, and this is a lot of the issues that
I'm interested in that.
Yeah. So I was a bit like, I feel like one of my whole life lessons is communication. I was really, really shy when I was little.
Yes.
And then as I got older and became more comfortable communicating, if I had to communicate anything that was really deep, that was also really hard. So this has been like a lifelong journey for me. So a really good little strategy to when you experience a big emotion, say it's sadness. And it could be, say you watch the news and there's terrible things happening in Palestine and you experience a sadness. So what you do, that method's called ALL. So firstly, you acknowledge the sadness. You go, hello, sadness. That way it separates you from the sadness. You don't kind of take it all in and absorb it. Especially if you're an empath, people who are really empathetic will take on other people's stuff. So you're acknowledging it and you link it to while it's there. And you go, it makes perfect sense that you're here because I'm watching these women, children. I have a baby and I'm watching children die. So you link to why it's there.
Yeah, true.
Once you've done that, then you let it go. So then you might hand it to your guides or angels or whatever you feel comfortable. If you pray to God, however, you just let it go. You might kind of sense it in a bubble. And this is a great way, like if you have an argument with your partner, and men and women are different, so you can't really tell him always why you're so angry, because he gets angry because he just doesn't understand.
Yes.
So you do the same thing and you're not attaching yourself to it. So apparently physically we only hold on to emotions for 90 seconds, but our humanness takes them, grabs them, and then shoves them down because at the time, that's the easiest thing to do. But over time, it's not sustainable, and you actually end up with injuries or sickness because your emotions don't prolong stuffed in there. So a lot of my healings will go to part of the body, maybe often the heart, and we'll release everything that they've stuffed down there over the years.
So moving forward, can you also tell us about your routine and things you never skip, like if you believe in prayer or something, if you believe in meditation, yoga, things you never want to skip, or maybe in your routine, in your bind in your blood.
Yeah. So I do have a little exercise I do to cleanse my body and also power up my energy, which I'll actually share with everyone.
Yeah.
I'll leave my details at the end, and if anyone wants to contact me, and I can share it with them. So basically, it's a color visualization, and I'm shooting colors through my whole body. And I've taught this to a lot of clients, also my physical body, my energy body, all the colors of the chakras. And then also a few other colors. And what this does is it powers up your energy field. I kind of send it to my cells to renew my cells. It cleanses as well, removes any tension. I do this this is probably the one thing that I've stuck to forever, because I'm a bit of a try this for a while.
So you're daily doing it?
I pretty much do it every day. Not every day, but most days I would say do it. I might do it when I'm lying in bed, and I always thought, oh, it's going to wake me up, energize me, but it's actually just clears your mind, and you actually have an amazing sleep on it. I love doing it when I walk the dog and I play a fun game. I also do it through the dog, visualize it through her, and I will look for the colours. So it starts with red and I'll see something red. And it's actually amazing. It's kind of like a fun game. It's amazing where the colours will turn up, because you get purple, that's a bit more tricky. And there's quite a few purple flowers around. But one time I saw a purple chest of drawers on someone's balcony or someone walks past with purple. Nice. So I will share that with anyone who wants to contact me at the end. That is something and also because I'm all about simple, you can do that in less than a minute. So I might be in Pilates class, I might do it then. So that's a really powerful technique. And also, I think when you're doing any kind of healing work and working with other people's energy, it's really important to cleanse yours. Have your own little cleansing tool. So that's a big one that I use regularly, and also because it's super quick. Because I've been taught to not walk around with a protective barrier around you, because that's normally created by fear, and also stops the good coming in and maybe stops the bad leaving. So instead, it's much better to power yourself up and just make yourself into the biggest light, and then darkness can't come to your light. It'll either transmute into light or just bounce off. So that's a really little amazing technique that over all the years, and I've learned different techniques, that's the one I've stuck to. Another one I do is practicing gratitude. And again, because I'm all about simple, I don't write it down. Too many steps. I do it when I go to bed. So when I go to bed, I say 3 things I'm grateful for, and I try to make one really, really simple. And then what I've recently also started doing is thinking in the future of the things I want to manifest, and being grateful for those things like they've already happened. Because when you practice gratitude, it's the energy of something's already happened and you're thinking for it. So by practicing gratitude for the things you want in the future, that also helps your energy bring those things in. So that's a new thing I've started doing. And that works for you? Yes. Yeah. I love the energy. Like your energy when you are in gratitude, it's the yumminess, isn't it? It's a beautiful energy. So if you're filling your cells up with that beautiful energy, I think it's really powerful and really healing. So those are probably the 2 I've stuck to. Meditation, I've kind of floated in and out. I'm such a busy person, I don't sit still much. So often instead of doing an actual meditation when I sit down, which I love and I found really powerful, I'll often just be doing the dishes and being really present, really mindful. Being present, what you're doing. So like an active meditation, really tuning into my senses, or again when I'm walking the dog. And then every day I'm connecting in with my guides. So often in the morning when I wake up, I will start with an intention for the day. My intention lately has been to really connect in with my intuition and really connect in with my guides. I love also to connect in with my guides when I'm walking the dog in nature, because I feel that it just amplifies everything. So those are probably my main 3 practices that I do every day. The releasing emotions technique, I do that often as well. I find that really supportive. Yeah, and then also cleansing practices after every client. That's really important. Because for their healing, you need to be healthy. Yes, absolutely. I need to stick around. Because people first look at you, oh, you are very healthy, you are glowing from within. You must have such a powerful healing pad. Good. We need to reach out to Sofia. Okay. Yeah. I think you. But that is true. You need to really support yourself. And I also say anyone who's a healer or a carer, like a nurse, teacher, is actually, and often they're empaths. Often it's real, they all need to have some kind of little tool or technique to clear other people's energy out of them. Can you also share if someone is emotionally blocked and burnout and not getting enough time, recently, or
everyone is busy in their life, not getting time for self. How you help them, how you guide them, any suggestion for them to coming out of that?
Yes. So I think when you're really busy, people still make time to scroll on social media.
True.
Which, yes, it is relaxing time, but it sucks your time away. So I think it's actually really important. And if you have a diary or a to-do list, you actually add yourself to the top of the to-do list. Like if you manage your time, you can actually leave time for yourself. And it doesn't need to be a lot, but it's actually essential. It's not optional. Like, especially as a mum, you feel guilty doing stuff for yourself.
Yes.
But it's actually essential because it will make you a better mum, a better partner, a better work colleague. So making time yourself, you need to diarise it and get it in there. Spend less time scrolling. And then also with aligning your energy, I think in our day and age, because there is so much, we don't turn off. There's so much information. We're watching TV and we're on our phones at the same time, checking emails. We need to get out of our minds. We're so stuck in our minds and off with the theories or off with our to-do list or, thinking about the past. We really need to start connecting in with our physical body. And that can be as simple as practicing mindful moments, like being really present. And again, it doesn't need to be long. It can be when you're doing a really boring job or something you do every day, like brushing your teeth or washing the dishes or changing a nappy, just really connecting in with your body. Another really beautiful technique I've been teaching a lot of people recently is the moment you wake up in the morning, placing your hands on your heart and connecting in with your heart. Kind of like opening up that communication channel, sending love to your heart from your hands, and then asking your heart what it needs, how's it going? Really connecting in. Because I've noticed a lot of people, when I work with them, their energy is all over the place. And when we do the healing, we kind of bring them back in together, like in, the little Russian nesting dolls. So it's kind of like bringing us back. And then also setting up your boundaries. So I'm not going to look at my emails after a certain time of night. I'm going to leave work at a certain time. Really setting up your boundaries that are manageable and sustainable for yourself. I've always had the saying, listen to your head, but follow your heart. So again, it's really stepping out of your busy mind and really connecting in with your heart.
How do you know it's the voice of your head or heart or your soul?
That's a really good question. So I think you called it the inner voice. How do you know if it's the inner voice or your mind? So your inner voice is what I call intuition. So it's communicating with you and it's information. So your inner voice, intuition, information, it just pops in and there's no emotion attached to it. Whereas your mind pops in and it's anxiety or worry. There's lots of emotion attached to it. There's worry, concern, there's fear, there's anger, and you ruminate over it really a lot. So it's kind of like comparing a gentle breeze with a loud thunderstorm. So your mind is loud, and it's emotional, whereas your intuitive mind, it's very calm. It brings you the information. You need to be quiet and present to really hear it, and there's no emotion to it attached to it. It's information. So that's kind of like the difference between the two. And your mind, kind of just will keep taking over, and it grows into something bigger and bigger and bigger.
True. Just not stop scrolling, not possible suddenly. Scroll less.
Yeah.
Scroll less, because whatever I'm scrolling, maybe I'm seeing something in there, and that pictures, whatever I'm absorbing, that may affect. And let's say people that are having, kind of maybe hobby, or they like to watch horror movies, or they like to watch other kind of movies which have actions and violence in that, but they don't know it may silently affect them, if they continuously watch them. So is it true that what you watch, what you hear, or even though it's just a movie? Affect?
I think everyone's different, and it really depends. I don't watch the news for that reason, because it's all bad news. But that's because people like to hear bad news.
True.
And I know so many people who don't like to watch the news for that reason. I didn't like the kids listening to it when they were young, but some people just love it and it won't bother them. I mean, I think from a holistic perspective, it's better if you don't hear those negative things, but it's totally up to each individual, and you'll know. And like if you're an empath, you probably want to less of it. And I don't want to watch horror movies, but teenagers love them.
Yeah. Maybe for just information. Yeah.
And I think it's a balance.
Entertainment.
Yeah. And I think it's a balance as well. Like if there's everything terrible in your life and then you're also watching horror movies on top of it, probably not great. But if you have a happy balance and you enjoy watching a thriller, serial killer series, then if there's a happy balance, then it's fine.
Okay.
But I think everyone's different. And you'll kind of know if it makes you feel good or not. But for me, I don't want to go to bed with bad news or bad energy, bad juju around me.
True. If anyone wants to reach out to you to ask any question or connectivity or for healing, so what's the best thing? Like it's your website, your email ID, anything you want to share?
My website, Sofia.nz, super simple, SOFIA.nz. And there's a contact form, and you can also book a session there, or you can book a free connection call if you just want to have a chat, see if this is for you. You can also email me at Sophia@sophia.nz if you have any questions. And also, if you wanted a copy of the colour visualization that I was talking about, please email me and I will send you a copy. And then I'm also on Instagram, sophia.intuitive.
I'm going to add all the link. You can check it in the description as well. You can check here in the screen as well. So just meet Sophia. Yeah, it's really nice to meeting. At the end, I just want to say we are going to bring lots of similar personalities in this channel. So stay tuned with us. And if you really think it's going to help others, share with them. Comment whatever you feel after this session. As Sophia mentioned, be your own healer and take care of your soul and energy.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been really fun. We've talked for a long time.
Yes.